Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. Today we're doing the Lost Gems of Middle Earth Role Playing by Iron Crown Enterprises. I have quite an extensive collection. And the other night, the good wife wanted to watch Lord of the Rings. And so when it came, I was sitting at the computer and then I transitioned to the recliner and was watching it with her. And when we got to Moria in the Fellowship of the Ring, I went to the bookcase and pulled out my copy of The Mines of Moria. I was just flipping through it while the whole Moria sequence was going on, and that led to this because I happened to also grab the Ghost of Southern, and it was right there with Moria, the dwarven city. Khazad-dûm, I believe is the proper name for it, the dwarvish name, and that led to this script that I wrote for today. And I just thought I would pull out some of the lost gems. These are really true gems. You might consider tracking um, these modules down for your D&D game. And I'm gonna go into why Ghost of Southern Anduin is a module you might consider picking up on eBay, or if you can find a PDF out there on the internet. I know that in the early 2000s, Token Enterprises were pretty aggressive about making sure anytime anybody posted the PDFs of these out of print modules that they got taken down. They were fairly aggressive about that after almost bankrupting Iron Crown Enterprises. That said, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Hit that like, subscribe, bell icon. Okay, so starting out, uh, what's really good about this module, number one, is the strategic location. It has a village here that's really well detailed. Here's the village map, and honestly, the maps in the Middle Earth modules make them worth the money. uh, many times. But this village, Bar and Tinin, you might want to change the name of that because it feels like a mouthful. It doesn't just flow off the tongue because it's named within the languages that the professor invented before he even wrote his books. But Bar and Tinin, this is great. This could be any village on the mouth of a river coming down here. So yeah, I love this. This is a great little, there's a watchtower down here. Could be a lighthouse if you position this on the ocean. But this is actually positioned on the southern Anduin in Middle Earth, and fantastic. Now, not you're not just getting that. You're getting 2 pages here. Now, all this white space. If you see all this white space at the bottom of page 7, this was old school layouts in the 80s, and this was beginning to be pruned back. Having this much white space was beginning to be pruned back in the 90s when I did my training for yearbook layout. So yeah, that's old school. So it was acceptable then, not so much today, particularly because we do a lot of PDFs and people are looking at that white space as wasted space. And honestly, if they hadn't done that, here's the rest right here, number 22 through 26, could have absolutely fit on page 7. And it would have been a 1 page. You would just print this 1 page, you have all the information on the village. So you have the map on one side, you have this on one side. It would have been fantastic if they'd done it that way. If you've got a photocopier, you could cut up the other one and paste it to this page in the photocopy it and have it as a proper 1 page. That would be awesome, but it is what it is. Then towards the back, pages 26 through 27 go into all of the major people in the town. A little more DM information here. You should print these 2 pages off as a one, front and back as a 1 page. And so this town it's the town's gorgeous. The map is gorgeous. The town's well drawn as far as well thought out. They've invested a lot of thought. They give you all of the important players in the town in just a quick little paragraph here with background information on them. And so this makes this town super usable to drop anywhere anywhere. You want something fresh, something different. This is a great town to use as a strategic location in any game. Your homebrew that you've done, or even just you're using a couple of D&D modules. You're going to use the town from this module. Maybe you don't like the layout of one of the classic, Village of Hamlet, maybe, or maybe the Keep on the Borderlands is just not quite enough of a town for you because Keep is kind of constrained a little bit. So maybe this town is what's going to work for you. I absolutely love this town, and it's been sitting on my shelf. I've been ignoring it for a long time because it was the Ghost of Southern Anduin. I collected all these modules, and I was really focused on looking at Bree and Lake Town, and where the action happened in the novels. That's where I was interested in reading. So I collected it pro forma, Ghost of Southern Anduin, but there was no real action here in the novels, so I never read it till now. As number two is all these tables. Now, admittedly, Merc is a roll master D100 type, roll under type uh, of game. But throughout this module is a lot of tables. I just think are fabulous. Now, uh, this is a table of PCs. Now, these PCs are levels 1 through 5, so there's the idea that this adventure does not have to be, you can have a mix of levels. You, this adventure could be run with as high as 5th level player characters as low as 1st level. And, I just thought this was great how they did this table of each PC down this column here. You have PC1, PC2, PC3, and so on. Potentially less useful to you um, if you're playing D&D or an OSR product. Coinage, table 2. This table I absolutely love. Coinage and prices in bar and tenant. Again, change the name, something that blows off the tongue a little bit. I love that they did this. It's one table. Anything that you might want to buy or to rent, or you got transports here, horses, wagons, so on. Yeah, small boat, medium boat, large boat, anything that you wanted to rent. Uh, yeah, absolutely handy, super handy. And I believe, I did not investigate, I believe these prices might be adjusted depending on supply and demand, depending on rarity of an item. So there you have that. This I thought was smart. A one unified, one page, print one page encounter table. This is an encounter table for within the town and outside in the rural areas around the town. Super smart that they did this. And so that's handy. That's a print that one and keep it with your town. NPC table. NPC table is actually 2 pages, and it's keyed by adventure. The the four the four one of these adventures I would break into two. So it's 4 to 5 adventures, and it's keyed by that. So you've got all the information and stats for them here. Again, less useful if you're using a D20 system and not a D100 system, but super smart. Something you might consult as you're converting this for your use. And then finally, we have a beast table. Now, the beast table actually illustrates one of my criticisms, one of the problems Middle Earth uh, role playing by Iron Crown Enterprises has. It's a very thin bestiary. They don't have a monster. Yes, there's a chapter in the rulebook that's the monster name, but they're kind of limited. And so when you read through here, you see red eagles, ravens, grass grouses, there's all these birds and fish and snakes and just animals, very little monsters. So if you're converting this to your classic D&D game, you're going up. You're gonna need to beef this up. It's lacking in the bestiary department, just because they had to stay true to tokens, so they couldn't add beholders. They couldn't add blink dogs. They don't exist in Middle Earth, and Middle Earth is more. There's more going on about political intrigue and story gaming. There are these 4 semi-linked. Some are explicitly sequel of the previous adventure. Um, adventures, and there's one 5 room. I call this a 5 room. It's not a 5 room, but it has that 5 room dungeon Janel Jacquasian thing going on with it here. And down here in the corner, room 7 to room 8, those joining walls, you got to put a secret door there. Then it's a true Janel Jacquasian, multiple ways to go, multiple paths you can take in the dungeon. And this certainly works as a 5 room dungeon. Or if you've been riffing on the whole 5 room dungeon concept to Janel Jacquasian the dungeon, then here you go. Already one of these in here for you is in part of the 4-5 story arc. Now the art. Let's talk about the art. Covers, Middle Earth covers really, after Bree and the Barrow Downs, I thought Middle Earth covers really started to up their game. Uh, that when they started getting into some of these paintings, they're very evocative of what's in the module, and I love that. Here's the map on the back. Um, Many of these modules actually use the inside cover as a full map. Sometimes just the front, sometimes the front and the back together to give you the area. So this is a little bit small and on the back, but it shows you, you can locate where Bar Anduin is down here at the mouth of one of these little side rivers on the southern Anduin. And then if you look on the map, 3 little dots together are ruins, and you can look and say, oh, there's some ruins here, there's some ruins there. So if you're using Bar Anduin, there's plenty of ruins around, there's plenty of other places to visit. So you could do a classic D&D campaign and have classic dungeons, go in for less of a story and the political intrigue and the backstabbing going on uh, that these are typical of. Now, as other art, Iron Crown Enterprise is kind of famous for this, is you find these NPC portraits. Here's one. This guy is the object of the mission to rescue in one of the adventures. But you get these, and you just know by looking at this guy's face, he's been having a bad day. This picture. Um, they they did these. They're not so evocative that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that NPC portrait. No, this is not the kind of art that you're going to remember years later. But I love them because they gave me a sense of the NPC as a DM, and so that's why I really like them. And I thought this was really smart on their part to do. And then finally, you have area maps. This is one of them. They must have had a mapper, some cartographer on staff, and that's all they did was just do maps. These are fantastic. I love the contour lines showing me the difference in the contour lines. This is the area, again, showing you Bar Anduin and the roads going off, and where it's located at the mouth of a little tributary coming down, feeding into a river. But you could equally do this as that's the ocean, because they're not showing you the other side, the other riverbank in this area map. It's not important. So that is our review of Ghost of the Southern Anduin. Green screen technology wants to wash it out. So if you can find a PDF, they exist. They're out there. They're on the internet. And from time to time, you're on Scribd or one of the other sharing sites, and you'll find, a document, and it's entirely possible they put a different cover on it, help camouflage it, but you can still find it, on those sites. Or you might pick it up on eBay. Ghost of the Southern Anduin, fantastic, fantastic module to pick up. You might use the 4 linked adventures in there. You might not, but the town is a great town to use. Drop it anywhere in your campaign. It's better than Village of Hamlet for my money. We'll be doing other little gems of Middle Earth and Iron Crown Enterprises just to highlight some of the things that are out there that are really, really good. Yeah, I know there's problems. They're out of print. I know I know what the problems are with Middle Earth role playing. Lack of a strong bestiary, and then that leads to a uniformity of big bads. They're all spellcasters. But even the big bad in this adventure different wrinkle. Even though technically there's a spellcaster there, it's a different wrinkle, and I thought it was very smart, different wrinkle. I don't want to spoil it too much. So the definitely the big bad in this, uh, I'm kind of thinking like probably just use that because I thought it was a unique approach. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And don't forget that like, subscribe, bell icon, and I'll see you out there at the gaming table.